Uh, Lewis, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. We're expecting others to join as we progress. Huh?
Yes.
So how has been your weekend?
It was good.
Oh, it was good. Huh? So
Yes.
that is quite okay. So for
Yes.
today's lesson, we'll
Mm.
be gearing up to preparation for the KCP exams that
Yes.
are just about to be done in November.
Yes.
So the first thing we'll start by looking at what we refer to as study tips. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, the study tips that one is supposed to use in preparation for any exam, because how you are prepared is what determines the end results. Huh? It
Yes.
determines the end results, your preparation. So the preparation that
Yes.
you make starting from beginning, know that it
Yes.
will determine the end term results. So I'd like us to go through something here in a short while. I want us to go through something here in a short while. But before even we go, we still have some 2 minutes. Which we can still use
Yes.
to interact. What are some of the challenges that you encountered during the previous online lessons? What were some of the challenges that you were able to encounter?
Oh, network issues
Mhm.
and only network issues.
Or only network issues? Huh? Oh, it's good to find out
Yes.
that. So hopefully that you are able to monitor all work that has been sent in Google Classroom. Huh? So I hope that that one is going to also be beneficial on your side
Yes.
as we prepare. Remember, we will be having the shortest time. So which are some of the subjects that you feel that are most challenging to you? Because in the platform, we might be looking at the key ones, that is Swahili and social, but we'll also have a chance to look at the other subjects. Science, theory, and mathematics when time allows. So,
Yes.
which areas do you think are challenging most to you as we start?
Maths and Kiswahili.
Oh, Kiswahili and Maths. It's all right. We will
Yes.
still join all the others and see the best way
Yes.
actually to tackle it. And because we
Yes.
are having like 2 weeks so that we can be able to open. So I hope that one will be a good grace period. Did you get the holiday homework book?
No.
So you did not get a copy of yours?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. We'll see what we'll do and how we'll be
Yes.
able to at least channel some questions to you for revision purposes. Uh,
Yes.
Keeping in mind again, we are also having the indexing exam, which will be coming about. So the advice that I will put across is that you should put more effort so that when when the exam is done, you are in a good position to be placed, actually either in the first class or the second class, and score a good grade at the end of the day, which will help or assist you in getting a good school. So because I can see it is due time, so we have said the first thing
Yes.
we are going to focus on the study skills. After looking at the study skill, the smart study skills that we are supposed to apply, being a
Yes.
pupil preparing for the examination. Then after looking
Yes.
at that, we're also going to look at some of the first notes, some of the key areas
Yes.
which are tested in social studies for today. Then tomorrow we'll be able to focus on Kiswahili, and the other
Yes.
day we'll be able to focus on other learning areas. And it is my
Yes.
expectation that by the end of the coaching period, you will be at least in a position
Yes.
to execute well and
Yes.
also give a positive feedback. So on my screen,
Yes.
I would like to share. On my screen, I would like to share. So I hope you are able to see on the screen what we are calling the good study habits.
Yes.
The good study habits. Is it visible on your end clearly?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, it's visible. So
Yes.
for you to be able to succeed well, you must apply several tips. And
Yes.
these are the first tips that we are focusing on, the study tips. Can you read for me the first one?
Set a regular time to study.
Yeah, setting a regular time to study. The next one?
Remove distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Have necessary supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Record assignments in an assignment book or on a calendar.
Yeah, so those are the first tips. The first thing is to know that you have a timeline. The timeline between now and the time the national examinations will be given out. Then the
Yes.
second thing is which are some of the distractions. Or distractions, they can come in form of entertainment at home. Distractions can come in form of friends at home. So you should at least remove those distractions and be in a position where you are all alone with your books so that you can be able to concentrate. Then
Yes.
we also say have enough supplies. Not that maybe you're waking up looking for a certain book or maybe you are disorganized. So you should ensure that if you are doing mathematics as your study, you have a geometrical set, you have all the equipments required to facilitate you to study so that you don't waste time. Then you also need to record assignments in an assignment book or a calendar so that you can know maybe today we are focusing at social studies. What are we going to be looking at in social studies? What are the key areas we'll be focusing at? So those are some of the major things that I would like you to focus on. Those are some of the major things that I would like you to focus on. And I can see Chris has just joined us. Welcome, Chris. Welcome. Chris, are you able to hear us? Chris?
Yes.
Oh, you're able to hear us, huh?
Yes.
And if possible, we would like to see your video so that as we interact, we may be able to share out. We had just begun our lesson.
Yes.
I was telling Lewis that we are preparing actually to have the best study skills so that they can be able to help us to prepare for the examination. And the first thing we have just mentioned is that is to understand time. We need to set a regular time to study. For example, if it's on Monday, you know, maybe from 10 to 12 is your study time, or on that Monday, and be consistent and regular. Regular means you must be consistent, because if you do something today and you don't do it tomorrow, you lack what you call consistency. So it's good to be consistent. It's good to be consistent. Then removing distractions was our second point. And the point you are saying, distractions, they can come in form of many ways. For example, distractions can come in form of entertainment back at home. Distractions can come in form of play, people surrounding you. So it is good to be able or be in a position to remove all the distractions. Don't have so many books on the study table. At least have the regular books that you are using. If it is social studies, you are having those are the key tips, because if people miss out on having the best study tips, he lose it out. So, and again, we say that you have necessary supplies. Supplies, if maybe you're doing mathematics, we are recommending that you should be having the geometrical set, your revision book there, so that you can be able to work it out. Then also have a place to record the assignments that you are doing. For example, today you are tackling, if it is either volume, you can record that on Monday, I was able to tackle volume. And Tuesday, you'll be able to tackle maybe surface area. So I think that one, it's going to be so necessary. So those are the basic skills: manage time, avoid distractions, and upon again avoiding distractions, we also say that have a regular record that you are keeping. Wesley, welcome for joining the class. Wesley Karamba, welcome for joining the class. We also recommend that your video should be on. Your video should be on so that at least when the lesson proceeds, you might be in a position to ask. You might be in a position to ask and interact with the lessons. So that's the first thing. So have a calendar. You have maybe 2 weeks. What are you going to do for this week? What are you going to do for next week? So that is one important thing that you should be able to focus at, because you can study, but if you don't have the right tips or pattern, you may end up not getting the end results. So, but the end results are so important. So the other study tips that we regularly go through is taking notes. Taking notes in class. You should be an active participant in taking notes. Be an active participant in taking notes. Manage your time, which you have also mentioned. So when going back to school, you need to know how to manage your time. The time maybe to engage in games, the time to do your studies, the time to do your homework. Time is so crucial. It is a determinant. So, and again, before examination, you need to study for the test. Yeah, you don't just wait for an exam without studying. And studying entails all that we have already mentioned. Wesley Karamba, we recommend that at least we might be in a position to see you. Wesley Karamba, be in a position where it's good, we're able to see you, so that in case you have a question, you can participate and also ask. So those are some of them. And again, getting a good place to study. You don't do your studies in the sitting room whereby people are watching the television, because it becomes a distractor, and you might not be able to concentrate. You don't do your studies where people are having a conversation, because again, you may not be in a position, you might not be in a position to again understand. You know, may not be in a position to understand or concentrate. So we say it's always important. I can see also Eddie has joined us. Welcome. You might not also be in a position to understand. So for those who have joined us, Wesley and Eddie, we are looking at the best study tips before we look at our lesson for the day. And we have said identify an ideal location for you to do your studies. Because if you are able to identify, for example, the first thing, Chris, can you take us through? Chris?
Set a regular timetable to study.
Before you go that, can you read the first point? This means
desk with nothing on it except what you need for the text you're on studying.
yeah, for the task you are on study. For example, right now, maybe we are saying we are going to focus on social studies and some of the key areas which are being tested. So you should ensure that you have the related items on board, the related items on board. We have also said have a regular time and a place to do your studies. I can see Wesley straining to see. Wesley, can you hear us? Wesley, are you in a position to hear us? It's okay. I can see Wesley is in a position to hear us. Let us see. Okay. Let us close the background noise so that at least we can be able to position Wesley. Oh, let us progress. Wambua, take us through the next page that we have of ensuring your study room is okay. Wambua?
Yes.
Take us through the necessary that you need in your study room.
Make sure you have the following: your assignment, notebook or calendar, solid flat surface for writing, good lighting, chair, books, and supplies.
Good. As you study, again, avoid, for example, when you talk about chairs, have a chair that is stable, that can support you, where you not strain, because now straining again drives away your concentration. Then have enough books, as we have said, the supplies should be enough. The study surface should also be enough. So make sure you have also the following. I can see a participant, Eddie Munene. Eddie, can you hear us? Eddie?
Yes, sir.
Are you in a position
Sir,
to
can you
hear
hear
us?
me? Yes, I'm in a position to hear you.
Oh, and can you turn on your video?
No, I'm currently in a bad place. I cannot turn on my video.
Oh, it's all right. There is no problem. Yeah, so
Yes.
we are looking at what are some of the things that you should ensure that you have. For example, make sure you have a clock. A clock will help you to keep time. If maybe you are working out mathematics, you should know the regulation of time that you have. Again, we have mentioned eliminating distractions. Computers, if you need to use them, they should be either optional. If again you're using computers to avoid the effect on the eyes, you can still wear glasses if you're straining. Being in good health, that means you need to balance your study time, and also you need to balance your classwork time. That's why we say too much study without play makes one a dull person. So you need to balance it out. There is a time you're in class, there is a time you are doing your physical exercise at home or even at school. And sometimes you can also have a drink as you do your studies. So before classes, what are you supposed to ensure? before you attend any class. Before you attend any class, Wambua, take us through what one is supposed to do before attending any class. Wambua?
Before class, think about what the class is going to be about.
Mhm.
What were the main points covered in the last class? Review your assignment was for the class.
Mhm.
Have your homework assignment on your desk ready to turn in. Prepare for every subject in this manner.
So thank you, Wambua. So the first thing, have in mind the class that you're going to have. Don't just sit in a class not knowing what will be your next lesson. Then what are the main points covered in the last lesson? So this means you should have reviewed the previous work which was covered. You should be able to review again the previous work which was covered. Then have your homework assignment out on your desk. Those are some of the basics. You should not be looking for the homework when the teacher is in class, because it will lead to wastage of time. And prepare for every subject in that manner. It will help you. We are just a few pages to finish it. Then during classroom, what are you supposed to ensure? Let's get another participant to take us through. Eddie. Eddie? Eddie?
Yes.
Take us through what you are supposed to ensure during the lesson.
Does your general knowledge provide any information about the subject being taught?
Mhm.
What comes to mind during the instruction that may be helpful?
Mhm.
Concentrate on the subject being taught.
Mhm.
Take notes on the main points.
Good. So in class, you are supposed to ask the general knowledge, because knowledge you build on knowledge. For example, if it's on social studies, we talk about people and population, a topic on people and population. So in class 5, you covered people and population. Class 6, you covered people and population. Class 7, you covered people and population. So out of these topics, they provide you with the general knowledge. So you are able to relate. Like in class 8, you're not going to be taught something different or something new, but you're going to build up on what the teachers have been teaching you. You'll be able to build up on what the teachers have been able to train you on different topics. If it is algebra in mathematics, you'll get that the topics they are able to build up in every stage. So that one gives you the point of general knowledge. Then what comes to mind during the instruction? That is the first thing. Again, you need to think what the teacher will be teaching in class, ask any question, interact with the material being taught. That one, we call it active learning. Then concentrate on the subject being taught, which is clear, and take notes. Because once you take the main notes, they will be in a position to help you out to recall. Because when you write, anything that you write down, you will remember. But if you don't write the key things, most of the times you forget easily. So writing, it is part of memorizing and ensuring that you don't forget easily. So those are some of the key tips as a pupil you should have, all the study skills. Then what are you supposed to do after class? Wesley, are you going to take us through? Wesley? 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 Wesley Karaba? Oh, I can see he has maybe a problem with this device because I'm not able to hear him. Wesley Karaba? So let's have Chris take us through after class what you are supposed to ensure. Wesley, you can work out on your device. When it's ready, you'll tell us. You can raise your hand when it's ready. Christian, after class, what is expected of you?
Review your notes and think about what was covered in class.
Mhm.
Some people like to rewrite their notes as they study.
Mhm.
Some people like to underline and highlight important ideas in the vocabularies.
Yeah, so we have been given 3 tips there. The first one is review your notes and think about what was covered in class. So maybe after a lesson is over, there are those notes that you have written down. It is expected of you to at least go through them. Then after going through those notes, you'll be able, number one is to highlight the key ideas. Highlighting means if you have a blue pen, you can underline it. If maybe it's a red pen or an highlighter, you're able to underline the key areas, because that one will help you again during revision. You don't take a lot of time during revision. Then you can also rewrite. Sometimes you can take a blank foolscap, try to write what the teacher taught, so that you can see if you are able to recall. If it is the main reason for the migration of the Bantus, you'll be in a position to check out and see that I'm looking at the reasons why the Bantus migrated. Am I in a position to write them without a book? So it is a very superb way of checking how many points can you get. If we are talking about River Lake Nilotes, can you list them down? How many of them are you able to recall without checking on a book? That is one of the tests that you can do for yourself after class or after a topic has been covered in any of the subjects that you are doing. Then in class, again, there is also a basic skill because we have said the first thing we are laying the platform so that we can know what to consider. We have checked what to do in class, and I hope you're able to recall what to do after class, what you should do during or after the lesson. So what are some of the tips that you should focus on in class? How to listen better. Wambua, take us how to listen better during a lesson.
How to listen better. Form a good habit when listening in class. Concentrate on what is going on in the class. Do not daydream. You cannot listen if you are talking.
Good. There are 2 actions. Number one, we have been told good habits, good listening in class. That's why you have 1 mouth, 2 ears. So you should be in a position to listen more than you talk. In class, you should be a good listener so that you can be able to get all the points. An active listener. An active listener is in a position to write the notes, is in a position to ask questions. So you should be actually in those positions. Then number 2, concentrate on what is going on in class. Do not daydream. Avoid maybe thinking of other things that may lead you out of class, other things that may lead you out of class or make you not to listen to the teacher. Distractors are there, voices may come outside. So you must have what you call intrinsic motivation so that you don't daydream. Daydreaming is where maybe you're in class, but your thoughts are very far from class. Then again, you cannot listen if you are talking. Most of the people, they will talk, most of the people will talk in class, not listening to the teacher, knowing that you cannot do 2 things, listening and talking. You cannot do that at the same time. You must talk. For example, I'm talking, you are listening. So when you talk, I will also keep quiet so that I can be able to hear you. So it's always good to zip your mouth, open it when you are asking a question, because it's going to be very instrumental and key for you during the lesson. So it's good to listen. So how do you listen? No, listening is a skill. How do you listen? How do you listen? Wesley, is your machine in good position so that we can hear you?
Yes.
I take us to learning to listen, because it's a skill that you should learn.
Learning to listen. Good listening means you are paying attention. Try to hear what is said, not what you want to hear. Think around the topic and between the lines. Relate it to what you are already known. What is the main point?
Good. So on number one, you have told us good listening is paying attention. Like right now, we are in a class. So out of the class, if you're going to get something, it depends on how attentive you are to the teacher. Yeah, that is the first thing. How attentive are you? Then number two, try to hear what is said, not what you want to hear. So most of us, we go into lessons already knowing what the teacher will teach. For example, if I teach about the government today, you already know what is in the government. You already know about the county government. You already know what is the national government. So the key questions come again to see that are you ready to relate what you know with what the teacher is teaching? That's the key thing. You need to relate what you know and what the teacher is teaching so that you can be in a position to understand. And if you are able to apply all these basics, you'll get that your study life becomes so easy. Think around the topics between the line. You should read between the line. If you are answering a passage, it needs you to read in between the lines again. Then ask yourself, what is the main point? What is the main point? So those are some of the basics that for you to become a good listener. So you need to improve your listening skill in class. You need to improve your listening skill so that you can be able to get what the teacher is teaching. So learning to listen, there are some of the things that we are going to highlight. Number one, what is likely to be tested on the test? You'll also be able to get it. What is the teacher going to say next? So if you are listening, you form what you call a pattern, listening carefully to the assignment and write it down in your assignment book. So when the teacher gives out assignment, it's not good just to listen, note it down, because our memory sometimes it can fail us because we have the short-term memory and the long-term memory. So once we get things, they are stored in the short-term memory. But now if you write it again, reread it again, that knowledge that has been taught goes to your what you call the long-term memory. Then listen for these essential phrases from the teacher. When the teacher says this is important, you really need to listen to that, because what the teacher says, most of the things which teachers say when teaching, they are tested. So if you listen to such phrases, or it is essential that you know that the main point is you should listen to such phrases because they will be guiding you to what is the key area that the teacher is focusing on. The key focusing on. The other skill that you should be having is improving your reading skills. We're also going to look at how to improve your reading skills, because if you're studying at home, there are two things that you'll have to do. You must read. There is no way you'll be doing your study if you don't read. So I would like one of you to take us through how to improve your reading skill. I want one of you to take us how to improve on your reading skill, and I will pick on one, how to improve your reading skill. So Eddie, can you take us through how to improve our reading skill?
A good reader does as many of the following as possible. Seizes the main idea, thinks about what the author is saying, is active, not passive, concentrates on what is being read, remembers as much as possible, applies what is being read to personal experience.
Good. So number one, we have said, thank you, Eddie, for reading it out for us. Number one, you seize the main idea. When you are reading, look at the key point. The key point, for example, the main reason for the migration of the Bantus it is because of the increase of population. That is the main idea. Seize that. After reading that, you seize. If again you are talking about the dispersal point of the Nilotes, the plain Nilotes, the River Lake Nilotes. If it's the River Lake Nilotes, we'll be talking about the Pubungu Pakwach in Sudan. The dispersal point for the Bantus, we will be talking about Shungwaya. You are able to seize that main point, that Shungwaya, it is the main idea that the reader is trying to portray either in the book. So when you are reading, seize the main point, think about what the author is saying. Yeah, think about what the author is saying. Is active, not passive. Be active. Like right now, we're in a class. That's why we are engaging you to hear your feedback so that you can be active, not passive. You also need to concentrate. Concentration, we have said, is the game, and you need to keep that reading. Being attentive, concentrate. Concentration, we say it is a game, you need to be in it. Then we say that remember as much as possible, okay? Then apply what is being read to personal experience. So I can see maybe Wesley is training, maybe the device he's using is small. Just ensure that your back is comfortable so that you don't get tired of straining and maybe lying on the facilities that you have maybe at home. So those are some of the key ideas that you should be able to focus on while you are trying to improve your reading skills. Underline the keywords, think between the lines, concentrate, be active. Don't just read for the sake of it. Those are some of the things, because you'll be reading a lot of material. Just ensure that that one is maintained. Lastly, there is a game that we call cricket, all-rounder. And people, we compare you to a rounder, the catcher. We call him the catcher. Think of it this way. The other is the pitcher. The pitcher is a person who is throwing the knowledge to you. Then the person who is reading or listening to the teacher, you are the catcher. So you must be very keen in order to catch the ball. In the game of cricket, again, we have the pitcher and the catcher. So be in a position to do that. Taking notes in class also is another skill that it's very essential, that you should be in a position to know how to take good notes in class. Lewis Wambua, take us through that.
Taking notes in class. Be prepared to take notes when class begins. Avoid any distracting conduct. Participate constructively in class discussion. Ask questions. Write notes in a concise, organized manner.
Good. That's good. So at least you should be in a position to take notes, so that at least you might be in a position where you'll be able to get and understand what you are able to read and also learn in class. So that's good. That's all that we have been able to catch up. So in our next session, I would like us to focus majorly on what we refer to as government. But before we move on to that, anyone with a question? Anyone with a question? Wambua, do you have any questions on the study habits? We only have 10 minutes for the questions. Then we can start our next session.
No, I don't have a question.
Oh, you don't have any question.
Yes.
Eddie Munene, any question on the study skills that you have been able to look at?
No.
Oh, you are okay.
Yes.
I will ask some to you, so be prepared. Wesley, do you have any questions? Wesley? So Wambua, for you to improve your study skills, as we have seen, what do you think you are going to improve on to improve your study skills?
Revise more.
You should study skills, huh? The ones that we have been able to focus on. You should do what?
Take notes, ask
Taking
questions.
Notes. Yeah, taking notes is a skill that we have able to mention. Any other?
Ask questions.
Asking questions, that one involves participating actively in class.
And being prepared for a lesson when you have the right tools.
Yeah, being prepared again for the lesson. That's good. Knowing what is being taught. Are you done, Wambua?
Yes.
Good. Let's hear from Wesley Karamba. Wesley? Wesley?
Yes.
From our first session, what have you been able to gather on how to improve your study skills?
You should always concentrate in the lesson. Ask questions. And have a positive attitude towards the teacher.
Good, good addition. That's good. Eddie Munene, what have you been able to master on trying to improve your study skills?
Whenever a lesson is starting, I should always have a book and readily prepared for the lesson. I should, before the lesson starts, I should be knowing what the lesson is going to be about and read on that.
No, that's good. That's good. Chris, what have you been able to master for how to improve your study skills for the first lesson? Chris? Chris?
Take notes in class. Set a regular timetable to study and remove distractions.
Yeah, it's good. At least I can see you have been able to capture some of the key things after the lesson. Wambua, what are you expected to do after the lesson?
After this lesson?
Yeah, after any lesson that you have, what is expected of you to do?
To review on the notes that were discussed.
The number one, you must review.
And
It's okay, Wambua. It's okay, let us not. Someone else to tell us what you do after the lesson, Wesley? What are you supposed to do after the lesson? Go through the notes. Yeah, going through the notes. Good. Eddie Munene, what is expected of you after a lesson? What are you supposed to do? Eddie?
You're supposed to go through your notes, take everything into consideration, be prepared for the next.
Oh, good. That's good. So you need to be prepared before the lesson, during the lesson, and after the lesson. Those are some of the important skills. Then reading skill, listening skill, highlight keywords. Those are some of the key things that will help you during the lesson. So that was the first part of today's session. We'll give you a break of about 10 minutes. You can catch a cup of water. You can walk around. Then during our next session, we'll be looking at the key or some of the important points. We'll be focusing on the social studies. And I've said we are going to look at all the subjects across and how I can mentor you, help you to prepare for the national exam that is coming, as you also have your holiday vacation at home. We expect the session to end at 12:30. So we still have like more 40 minutes ahead to go. So I appreciate you for joining the class and for being an active participant. And I encourage you to be positive because whenever you are positive, you are in a position to get it. So right now is 11:42. So we can meet, I'll give you a break of 10 minutes, so we can meet at around 12, at around 12 or 5 minutes to 12. You should be ready for the lesson. 5 minutes to 12. Just be ready for the next session. So note that, make some short notes for every session that we have. Bye, it is the end of the lesson. It's okay, you can end. You can say hi to your friends as you end the lesson. It's okay.
Bye.
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 So those were some of the studies skills that people should engage in before the lesson, after the lesson, and after the studies. So let us meet for the next session.